Hi, I'm CNU Fishing Club President Joe Wilkerson, and welcome to the program we like to call CNU Real TV. Today on the show, we'll be talking about the 2009 tournament season, meeting freshman angler Charlie Hill, and going over some bass tackle tricks. Stay tuned. Our first stop of the 2009 tournament season was the Potomac River. The Potomac was a very fun tournament because everyone caught lots of fish. CNU placed 15th and 24th out of the 40 teams. One of the main baits that both teams used was the Gary Yamamoto Senko in the watermelon color. Now we were pitching this Texas rig around grass clumps of milfoil and around the edges of hydrilla. It was a very effective bait, as it's pretty much effective anywhere. Another bait that was used specifically by Jason Peters to boat his four keepers was a black and blue Spro frog. And Jason was fishing the frog pretty fast out of the vegetation, so he would get a reaction strike from the fish. A final bait that was used in the tournament was a brown chatterbait, which was just slow rolled around the vegetation through the clumps of milfoil and stuff. And it was a real effective bait, and unfortunately we lost a fish that was probably over 5 pounds on this very brown chatterbait, and it probably ended up costing us the tournament.
Tournament highlights.
Look at this. Got one, folks at home. Folks at home, we got a nice keeper. Folks at home, look at this. Watch this. Look at this. Nice fish in the net. And that's how we do it. FLW college fishing right here. Definitely a keeper. Way to go, Ryan. You need some pliers?
Pretty work, buddy.
Look at that, man. Way to go. Way to go. Okay, that live well right under your foot. Yep. Way to go, man. Got a fish here. Potomac River. College fishing, FLW. Nice fish. See if we can get that thing in the net. Land it.
The second stop on our 2009 tournament trail took us to Thousand Islands, New York. Now, this Thousand Islands is called Thousand Islands because there's hundreds of islands throughout the St. Lawrence River, which provides a lot of structure for the fish. Unfortunately for us, we didn't have a chance to get up there and practice, so we were fairly happy with our 24th place finish. Our second team did not boat any keepers, but they lost some fish that could have put them up there. One of the first baits that was used by the team Ingalls and Long was a jerk bait, similar to this one by Case Plastics. And what they did was they decided to go after largemouth, and they went into the Delaney Bay and started twitching this bait through the grass. They had 2 good strikes, good bass on. They just came unbuttoned at the end. And they also caught several pike on it. Later in the day, they decided to make a change and went to flipping the beaver baits. They didn't have a whole lot of success doing that, but they felt like they learned a lot about flipping just from doing it all day. Our other team, Arsani and Wilkerson, were drop shotting all day deep for smallmouth. We could see fish on the graph, and we just had a hard time catching them. There were 4-foot waves coming into this rock pile that we were fishing, a wind-blown rock pile. We knew they were there, we just couldn't get them to bite. We were drop shotting with this Berkeley Gulp fries, and what we were doing is we were trying to shape the bait while the sinker remained on the bottom to give it that subtle action that would trigger strikes. We ended up catching 1 keeper smallmouth, several rock bass, and 2 giant pike in 30 feet of water. Not normally a technique you'd expect to catch pike on. Later in the day, we switched to a spinnerbait. With about 10 minutes left, we were back at the ramp. We had some time to kill, so I started burning the spinnerbait around docks and grass. And I think we caught a total of 2 pickerel on spinnerbait, and then on like my next to last cast, I landed a nice keeper, 2-pound largemouth, and I was able to weigh in a second fish for our team and move us up in the rankings. Felt like that one fish at the end really pushed us up towards the top. Weighing in 1 fish, we probably would have finished probably around 30th place. So it was a very important fish to us, and just a reminder to always keep fishing until the end of the day.
Tournament highlights.
What do we got there, boys?
Now it's time for another edition of Tackle Tricks.
Hi, today we're going to be talking about Texas rigging a worm. I have here a Jim Dandy Lures 6.5-inch straight-tailed worm. I'm using pink so it'll show up a little better. And I like to use this bait, skip it under docks, and just twitch it a little bit on the surface. I'm going to show you how I rig it. First, I'm going to take the hook and go into the head up until the bend of the hook. Like so. Then I'm going to pop it back out and push the worm up the hook. Next, I'm going to take the point of the hook, bury it back in the worm, come out the back like that, and then go right back into the surface of the worm. That makes it weedless and still gives you a good hook set. I hope these tips help you out next time you're on the water.